What's good, people? It's about that time to randomly relate, reverse rants, no hate. So I want to speak on something that basically brought some thoughts to my head because of a brief moment. That brief moment was Saudi Arabia. Deontay Wilder's walking on his way to wherever he was going. Good old Tyson Fury to his left starts screaming, "Bomb squad! Bomb squad!" Deontay Wilder immediately starts smiling, walks over to Tyson Fury, daps him up, gives him a hug. Now, I know that people can have a change of heart. I know that people will say, well, if he, forgave him, then what's wrong with that? Nothing. But see, here's the thing. These fighters say one thing, and then they go and then say something completely different later, and then do something completely different. It just made me think. Not that I care personally, right? But you see how things play out in the end. I said a long time ago, if Deontay Wilder truly feels that this man tried to kill him, because think about this, he influenced his, what was his old trainer name? His old trainer, Mark Breland, to poison his water to give Fury the advantage. The old crab in the barrel ass, what's his name? Kenny Bayless, referee. Yeah, he was on the payroll too. They were all against me. This is all coming from Wilder's head and his mouth. So my thing is, you can be perfectly fine. No disadvantages, you still get killed in the ring. So basically, someone put something in your suit. In your water. I'm surprised he didn't blame, somebody for making the suit too heavy. Or they put some extra padding to make my suit heavy. It wasn't that heavy when I first bought it. So he says that he knows that Tyson Fury did what he did. And he'll take that to his grave. Remember, after the fight, he said, I don't respect you. I don't respect you. Was it the next day or a couple of days later? He sent out a tweet congratulating, not verbally, not get in front of a camera, and hey, look, man, you know what? It's over with. This happened, that happened, whatever, blah, blah, blah. Right? Because if you're going to congratulate someone and you're trying to show good sportsmanship, you should leave it at that. Well, he did that, then go and he does other interviews where he's saying Tyson Fury cheated, and he'll go to his grave with that, just to end up seeing him and hugging him. He's yelling out "Bomb Squad," and because of that, that makes you go give him a hug. Okay, smiling at him and everything. Tyson Fury was being interviewed afterwards, and he basically was saying, he was asked about that whole situation. He said, yeah, well, he must have felt guilty after all these accusations and everything. Now, you see, this is what I mean. Because even for Fury to allow him to walk over to him and hug him and shake his hand, and then he's going to go and say, yeah, he must feel guilty. Just leave it alone. Like, hey, look, man, that's old news. No need to even comment on it. Then the interviewer proceeds to say that Wilder said he had Jake Paul ahead in the fight. Tyson Fury says, I don't really care what he says. He's a tosser to me, okay? He's a tosser. I said, damn. See what I mean about people in this game? I can't walk up to you, hug you, or allow you to walk up and hug me if I don't like you. I cannot interact with you if I don't like you. And there's no way that Aries is going to think you tried to kill him. And I'm going to act like everything is okay. Like, I'm sure you tried to kill me. See, here's my thing. And this is where, when his fanboys, his minions start running their mouths, I look and I say, you see how this works? Because they're both being phony hypocrites to me. Okay, because for you to say all of that and do all of that and call him out, trying to, get attention, he walks over, why are you guys shaking and hugging hands and then talking shit about each other behind each other's backs? Okay. Here's my thing about the minions for Wilder. Why is it that you guys are always talking about black this, black that? Oh, they hate on him because he's a black man. He's a black man. He was champion. They don't want to see a black champion. Okay, so wait. You don't think that this is a slap in the face then, if you really believe that? That Tyson Fury being the devil, okay? The devil has his demons, right? Kenny Bayless and Mark Breland, his demons. Because they basically were on the payroll working against Wilder. Isn't it funny how he walks over and hugs him? And at least in front of him makes peace with him? But you never once heard him say anything about making amends with Mark Breland, who was with him from day one. You never heard him apologize to the shit that he said about Kenny Bayless. And he accused Kenny Bayless of cheating for Fury, when he took a point away from Fury. Kenny Bayless was wide-eyed watching Wilder get his ass whooped, and he was concerned for what was happening to him. So basically, the referee was strung out on wanting to see you get a loss in your record. That's what he was doing. Mark Breland, same thing. He was jealous because you had a better career. This is what people had the nerve to say. He's jealous because Wilder had a better career than him. And Wilder's the man, and nobody cares about Mark anymore. And all of this came because Deontay Wilder said all this nonsense. So now all of a sudden Mark Breland's no good. Kenny Bayless is no good as a referee. He's a crab in the barrel as a referee. But you seem to overlook all of that. See, they're racist against black people. They're racist against Wilder. But he goes and makes peace with the white guy, but not the two black guys. So every time when you guys make stupid comments and say stuff like, oh man, you black, you should be on Wilder's side. I ain't on nobody's side. I'm just, I'm speaking about what I see. I don't give a shit about Tyson Fury. Okay, plain and simple. You guys are saying Wilder should this and Wilder should do that because they all trying to come again. And it's like, look, here's the reality. The man got his ass kicked 3 times. Okay? For all of the talk that y'all doing, and all this talk about Fury getting, remember this, we gonna get this dirty motherfucker about the sport. All this, how Fury cheated in the past, different sparring partners. Look at all these different interviews Wilder has done. Had nothing to say when they were at the press conference. Then got his ass knocked out again. But then, you telling me, face to face, it's smiles and hugs. It's smiles and hugs. Blessings. Which means if Wilder really feel like that, he won't have another negative thing to say about Fury. If Fury's a man of his word, he won't have any negative things to say about Wilder. This is what I mean. Now you look and you see that even now, Savannah Marshall has made a comment about Clarissa Shields saying she can't sell tickets, blah, blah, blah. Whatever happened to all that, I respect her. She's a true champion. And this is great for women's boxing. And we're trying to, this is a great statement for women's boxing. Now, back to the let's tear her down. And I'm reading the comments of her little fanboys. Oh, Clarissa Shields talks too much. Oh, Clarissa, she feels herself too much. Oh, Clarissa this, Clarissa's responding to a comment and comments that Savannah Marshall made. Oh, she's a joke. She only has 2 knockouts in 13 fights. Ha, 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 ha. Oh, she's only winning because of her speed. Well, if that's the only reason she won, then how good is Savannah Marshall in? Because she got shut out. She only won 2 rounds. So if she only won, wasn't reflexes, ring IQ, movement, foot speed, foot movement, nothing. Head movement, nothing. It was just speed. Okay. So how the hell did Savannah Marshall lose to somebody so limited? And also what I find funny is this. Do you see the weigh-in, the weights? The official weight, right? Now, when Clarissa Shields rehydrated, she came in, I think, 176, 173 or 176. Savannah Marshall was 193 pounds. She was damn near heavyweight. Nobody brought that up, right? I'm just talking in the sense of fairness and how people always want to say things about one fighter. Because now I'm hearing all this stuff about, Clarissa Shields, she got advantage over, like they was talking about how she was bigger than Hannah Gabriel's, and it's always excuses. Excuses. To the one who gets their ass whooped, they make excuses or their fans make excuses. So, in terms of the Savannah Marshall situation with Clarissa, that's why I said, you see, when I say people just talk too much, they should have never kept talking about this. They kept bringing up this whole, 10 years ago, oh, I beat you in the amateurs. And you know what? Here's the thing. You can't even compare the two fights. First off, most people feel like Savannah Marshall was gifted that victory. Well, the fight they just had recently in the pros wasn't even comparable. It wasn't even a close fight. Savannah Marshall fought. She tried her best, but just like I said, too much skill there. Yet you always have somebody who don't know nothing about boxing, but always want to give you their little intake based on what they personally like or don't like. So when I said that fight don't, fights in general, okay, but that fight don't need no fake beef. They don't need this nonsense. Just let the fighters go in there and fight. So now you have a historic night. You're all a part of it. It was a great night of boxing, and now you want to start to try to taint it by trying to take a shot at somebody that just kicked your ass. Basically, that's how that goes. Let's undermine her win, and let's point out some other things about her. So if you say that she's pillow-fisted, you say that she only has speed, you can say all the whatever. Again, well, how the hell did Savannah Marshall lose to somebody so limited? So pillow-fisted? Because she sure as fuck didn't run from her. So tell me how she lost to somebody that basically ain't shit according to what people were saying about her. Now look at how we went from having a great night in boxing to, let's taint it now by all of this. I don't feel like this whole Tyson Fury, Deontay Wilder shit, it came to where it got to because of a bunch of nonsense. But this whole situation is just like, it's funny in a way because it's like, how do you think this looks to the boxing audience watching this shit when you have some that get turned off by it, and you have some that think this is entertaining, and you have some that's just taking sides because, I like him, I don't like him. I like him more than I like him, or whatever. Truth is this. The fight happened. All three of the fights happened. You can't take that back, and you can't change that. But again, if I don't like you, we're not shaking hands, we're not speaking, we're not hugging, none of that. So if I extend my hand to somebody because I've forgiven them and we've squared it out, you won't hear me say anything about that person. And I expect the same in return. Otherwise, it's fake, it's bullshit, and you're not a genuine, a person and a man or a woman of your word. Because at the end of the day, once we square it off, it's squared off. I don't like to do talk anyway. We can't settle it like mature adults and you want to get ignorant. Well, we can just jump into, the other shit then. So at the end of the day, I'm saying, you see how that was a really shit-stained look? Because when you're doing all the accusing, all the weight of proving, the burden of proof is on your shoulders because you're the one making the accusations. Now, after y'all saw him sit there, smile, walk over, Fury didn't come to him, he walked over to Fury, smiling at him, shook his hand and gave him a hug, blessings. And y'all allow him to get in front of his cell phone or whatever camera he uses and talk a bunch of negative shit and talk about how the man cheated. He's a cheat. He ain't shit. This is what I mean. When he was doing it, then it was bullshit. And if he does it again, it's bullshit. So nobody won't go on his channel, his comment section, and say, hey, man, you forgave the white guy that you claim was racist. Remember all the it's us versus them? They was all saying Fury was racist and all this shit. You went over there and smiled and hugged him and showed him love. Fake love anyway. What about Kenny Bayless and Mark Breland, more importantly? What about them? Just saying. And before I close this video, let me just say, you see, I did a video about Conor Ben's 30 egg story. I purposely left out the excuse he made about the fertility drug. Because remember, all in the beginning, he don't know. He don't know how it got there. All he knows is a clean fighter. He just wants to fight. You know, Chris wants to fight. You know, I'm ready. I didn't do anything. And then all of a sudden, it was a woman's fertility drug. I was trying to get my wife pregnant. Okay. That's what it was, a fertility drug. And all of this, I hope the apology is as loud as the disrespect. Then he did what he was supposed to. Just shut up about it. Stop talking. But I told you, he starts talking again, it's going to be something different. And all of a sudden, he comes over 30 eggs. He ate 30 eggs. Why? Protein. He ate 30 eggs. And then because of the 30 eggs, see, 30 dirty eggs produce PEDs. So that's how he got PEDs in his system, because not once but twice. And the fact that they tried to keep it quiet. But you see, I left that part out in the last video on purpose because I was waiting for someone to try to jump to his defense, because you always have some idiot that, oh, but no, it's true, because surprisingly, nobody actually did that. You know, somebody did make a comment about they heard that if you eat too many eggs, it can, but bottom line, if you eat or drink too much of any, there's a lot of shit that can come in that it'll make something high or low, like, you know, high in your system. But stop it. What I'm saying, where was the 30 eggs from the very beginning? As a professional fighter, that you train, you do this for a living, you know you have to be careful of what you put in your body. And the fact that it took him all this time, right, to finally shut up, but after all this time of him being quiet, that's the excuse he came up with. He ate 30 eggs. Oh, and you just didn't remember that for some reason. You eat 30 eggs all the time? Because if you do, that means it would have came up in your system in other fights. And all I'm going to say is this, to each his own. But if you're stupid enough to believe the 30 dirty egg story, then believe anything. You know what? Aries is God. I can float. I can fly. I can turn invisible. Now go ahead and tell me I'm lying. Never fall in love with lies. Remember the truth brings hate out of people. Talk to me in the comment section. I will catch y'all on the next one.